Hello everybody, welcome to General Grievous Part 2. In this video I'm going to look at splitting his arms and installing the USB lightsabers. I'm really hoping I can do some wire management so the wires aren't so obvious, but we'll see. But first I want to address the base. In part 1 I mentioned I did not like that base. I don't like bases with a nameplate. Plus I just don't like the design overall. All my figures are on simple black bases, so this doesn't fit in with the collection. And it's rather small for the figure, depending upon how you have him posed with his legs. So I did have an idea when I was filming part 1, and that idea was to create something out of Legos that slips over that base, and that's what I have done here. It's a number of there's two 16 by 16 plates plus a shorter plate in the middle to create a gap for the post, and then 5 smaller plates in the front to give it more depth, and then they are held together with plates underneath, and then the sides are just regular bricks. There ended up being a gap. The height of the bricks did not match the height of the base, so Lego has these little rubber feet. The gap was less than the thickness of a flat plate, so I put these little feet thinking that they would make up that difference. So let's see how it looks. So here is the Lego base cover. It's probably not to everybody's liking, but I like it and it suits my purposes. I like it better than what we had before. So I might use this next time. I have a figure that's too big to use on the bases that I typically use. Might do this again. But one thing I didn't point out is I used, for most of the field, it's the little 1x2 grate tiles. I thought that would give it a nice like ship's deck appearance, something like that. You could also get them in dark gray, so that's another variation to go on. But anyway, there is my base, and now let's rip his arms apart and put some lightsabers in his hands. So here's Grievous with his arms separated. They were very easy to separate. You have to take these shoulder pieces off and then reattach them. What I found though, reattaching them was a little bit difficult. I was having trouble getting them back on the peg. What I finally did was, by twisting these arms, rotating them backwards slightly to get the peg in a position where I could snap these back on. I do have one problem that I'm a little concerned about, and all the joints are fairly stiff except for this shoulder joint for this one arm. It's a little bit loose. I think right now it's, in the upright, this is helping to hold it in place. I'm worried that when I put the hand and a lightsaber on it, it's not going to carry that weight. I may end up using this arm with the hand cut off, battle damaged arm. Another thing that's of note, I was having trouble with the clasp on his cape. I was afraid I was going to break it, so I had to very gently pry it over his head without unsnapping it, and if I ever put it back on, I'll probably have to do the same. So let's load him up with some lightsabers and see how wonderful he looks. So here's Grievous as I have him posed. My original intent was to have the wire go through the arm, this armor and the arm mechanism, but except for this arm up here, it was too tight to get the plug through. So, but I still managed to wrap the wires around the arms the best I could, trying to hide them. They all end up underneath the shoulder blade armors, whatever you want to call those. And in a minute I'll show you what happens in the back. I did have to lower the figure in order to get all the wires close enough to the box in the back. And I decided to do one leg in front of the other to give him a sense of movement. And I also decided, since the legs were asymmetrical, to do the arms asymmetrical too, and the hands. The lightsabers do not, the split hands do not grasp the lightsabers very tight. If you do a two-arm pose, it would obviously be a lot better. But so far they do manage to hold it. And so far this arm is staying upright. The other thing I would advise if you're when you're assembling this with the lightsabers is to power them up to check the colors before you install them, so you don't end up actually having like two on one side, two blue on one side and two green on the other side, unless you want it to be that way. So anyway, in a minute here, I'll show you what I did with the wires in the back. So, I don't know how well you can see it, but on the two wires on both sides as they come out from behind this shoulder blade, they then run behind these back armor pieces. And you can see that two of them just make it to the power box. And two of them have some looseness or extra length to them, but that's why I had to lower the body to get it closer to the power box so I can plug all four of them in. I wasn't going to put the cape on, but I think I will. It will help hide this stuff. So I tried putting the cape on him. I even unsnapped it and thought that might be easier to get it back on, but after a while I gave up. I was just having a hard time with it, especially with his arms posed out like that. I've added a clone trooper so you can get an idea of how big he is. I'm also really glad I did that base now, because I would never have gotten his legs in that position on the base that came with him. And here in a minute I'll turn off these bright lights and you can get an idea of how bright these lightsabers are. So I don't know how well that's showing up on the video. Anyway, that's part 2 of my General Grievous review. Really happy with this figure. They did a really great job on it. I was really surprised, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for coming by.